Hi guys, it's a beautiful day once again and welcome back to Dexter's World channel. Well, let me inspire you about this duck business and this quail business. And before you're gonna start with your desire to have this duck farm or this quail farm, you might as well be guided with my sharing today about my experience insofar as this business is concerned. Well, we will start with the ducks. You know that these ducks are really very lucrative because they can produce massive of these eggs. They're like egg machines. But there are actually things that we have to observe in order to maximize the production of the eggs. And these are very crucial. It entails big budget, it entails big money, and so much of your time and effort in order to become successful in duck farming. And insofar as quail farming is concerned, it's also lucrative. It's also a good business, but you have to consider also many things. And that is what I'm going to share with you now. I have here a simple computation. This is a rough computation actually of the duck business, and this will somehow help you in your desire maybe to have this duck farm. And before you're gonna start this up, maybe you will consider the things that I would like to discuss today. I have here bond paper, and we will have a comparison which is more practical and lucrative business for you, the duck or the quail. Well, both are good businesses, but it depends largely on the kind of attention, the kind of environment that you have, and how much is your capital. That is very important. We will start with duck business. Actually, I have here the highlights of this business, and let's assume that we will start at 1,500 heads of ducklings. So we will start at day old. And we will assume further that your business is focused on egg production. If you're gonna focus on egg production, of course, you will get all female ducks. You will not need the male ducks. And let's assume that we have 1,500 ducks. And this 1,500 ducks will consume 1.5 sacks of feeds per day. These are the starters, the crumbles. And the equivalent or the amount of this 1.5 sacks per day is actually 2,550 pesos. You know the ratio between the dollar and the peso, 50 pesos equivalent to $1. So you will take care of your ducks for 180 days. So in 180 days, you will spend around 2,550 a day times 180 days. That's 6 months. That's a total of 459,000 pesos. That's almost $500,000 by just raising 1,500 ducks in a matter of 6 months. So you will consider that capital because this is only for the food consumption. We don't have yet discussed the housing and even the manpower, maybe the water that you may be using and preparing as the facility for your ducks. So this is only for the food consumption. For 6 months, you are not productive because the ducks will start to lay their eggs after 6 months. So let's assume that you already have passed through the 6 months waiting period. You have prepared your ducks to lay their eggs and they are now laying their eggs. So 6 months, 180 days. They will start, your 1,500 ducks will start to produce, let's assume 100% of them have laid eggs, will start to produce 1,500 eggs. And the price of the egg right now is 10 pesos. So if you will multiply that, you will have 15,000 pesos per day after 6 months. Okay, so that 15,000, of course, we will less the food expenses, which is 5,000 pesos, because I presume that at the age of 6 months, you have to double the feeding, and the cost of the layer duck pellets are actually high compared to the crumble or the starter pellet. Let's deduct 5,000 daily expenses. For the food alone, you will have a net income daily of 10,000. And this 10,000, if we will multiply that to 30 days, more or less, we will have 300,000 per month in our duck farm. Well, this is a rough estimate because we still have to deduct the housing, the manpower, and the labor. There are things. So roughly, we will have 300,000 per month by just raising 1,500 ducks after 6 months. Now, let me discuss with you. It's easy to say that we can produce 100% of these eggs. Actually, it's really not easy. It's difficult. Why? Because there are many factors that would affect the production of the eggs. And number one is the environment. Number two is the kind of attention that we can give them. And number three is the inconsistency of the feeding system. Maybe you are feeding this much and then you run short of capital, and then you feed only this less and then feed this much again because you already have the money, and this is not a good practice. So it will greatly affect the egg production. This is a lucrative business, but we have to invest money, we have to invest time, and our energy and effort and manpower. Allow me to have a short comparison about the duck business and the quail business. Well, we have to make a comparison because more or less we can estimate what facility we are going to prepare and how much budget we're gonna prepare for the food and even the housing, and how much gain will we earn by just raising quails. So I would like to make a comparison. Maybe you can decide which of these businesses or which of this business will suit to your capital. So we will have a short highlights about this quail business. And actually I have prepared this one for us to be able to learn something today about this quail business. Well, let's assume that you can raise 4,000 heads of these baby quails, these chicks. And this 4,000 baby quails will consume 1 sack of feeds per day. The price of 1 sack of this quail booster is actually 1,700 pesos. And then the productive year of this quail is actually up to 60 days or 2 months. Meaning that the waiting period is just 2 months. Unlike the ducks, you have to wait for 6 months. For the quail, you will just wait for 2 months after you're gonna produce your quail eggs. If we're gonna spend 1,700 pesos per day, we will multiply that into 60 days, which is 2 months, before they gonna become productive. You will spend around 102,000 pesos. So this is much lower than the expenses for the ducks. We will spend 500,000, almost 500,000 for the ducks. After 60 days or after the waiting period, which is 2 months or 60 days, your quail, 4,000 heads, will produce 4,000 eggs. And if the price of the egg is actually 2 pesos, and that will give us 8,000 pesos, equivalent to 4,000 eggs, because the wholesale price per egg is 2 pesos. And if we will deduct the expenses, which is 3,000, we will have a gross income of 5,000 per day. So after 2 months, so the waiting period is not that long. So if we will have 5,000 pesos per day, if we will multiply that to 30 days, more or less we have 150,000 pesos per month after the waiting period, which is 60 days. You can compare that the quail farming is more easier to manage than the duck farm. Why? Because you only need a very limited space. You look at this. Our space are actually composed of, 3 cages, and each of the cages has 3 layers. And we are already now producing more than 2,000 eggs per day. And I can recommend that if you don't have this much capital, you go for the quail egg production. Because this quail egg production is easy to manage because you don't need a big space. The space is very small. And we are producing now a lot of eggs, and we are starting now to sell to the market. And I'm hoping in the future that we can expand this for more eggs and more money to come in, so that we can expand even up to buying new property for the Dexter's World Farm. So this sharing is actually based on my personal experience, and it's been my desire to share this because I wanted that some people who are really into this type of business will be guided by the experiences that I had. I used to have 6,000 quails before. I had a video about this, and even the egg production of these quails are really very easy and easy to manage. If you will ask me what is the best business for you, well, if you have this big capital and you have the big area or facility, you go for the ducks and the quails. But if you have limited space, if you have limited budget, then you go for the quail business because this is very affordable. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you will still continue to like and share this video, and you will be there for me. Of course, I am so happy with our new subscribers, and even to those ones who have decided to join as members of this channel, thanks a lot. And even to those ones who have made comments, thank you so much. And we will be revealing to you the secrets of our business here. For the next video, please be with me as we're gonna harvest our catfish, and we're gonna load some baby koi fish in the pan. So see you in my next video only here at Dexter's World.